don't care what team he's on. I don't care if he's taking grenades. I don't care about the excuses anymore. If you're this much of an elite scorer, you should be able to do it properly. And he hasn't. And he has not shown any form of improvements on the defensive end, nor has he shown very much improvement as a playmaker. So I'm tired of the excuses. This isn't a guy that I'm going to be watching on a daily basis, hoping he does well. I just can't wait until he's off the team. I'm done with Cam Thomas.
I do want to address that because everyone said he's made these great strides on defense. His effort has gotten better. But I want to put this in perspective. Guys that played at least 25 minutes per game last year. Do you know where Cam Thomas ranked?
Where?
Third from the bottom. So he went from the worst to third to the bottom. That's the vast improvement, right? That's like when Texas went from the most obese state to like the 47th most obese state, right? It's like, okay, wow.
You're still in the top 5 of worst.
Yeah. Right? It's like, these guys, come on. I think we went from 49 to 47.
Big.
Yeah, like, come on. Like,
yeah.
Guys, this is not good. Right? So people want to say Cam Thomas has gotten better defensively. Okay, I want you to put that in context about how bad he is defensively. Right? You just look at him. He's short-armed. He's got legs like tree trunks. He can't move, and he's 6'3". He's not like if you were to make a prototypical defensive player, you'd make the complete opposite of Cam Thomas.
Yeah, pretty much. He doesn't have the wingspan. He doesn't have the height. He doesn't have the versatility. He doesn't have the athleticism. He doesn't have the ability as a guard to play on 2 separate sides of the ball, whether that be as a scorer and a playmaker or a scorer and a defender. He doesn't have the ability. He has not showcased the ability. Listen, a lot of people have known my thoughts on Cam Thomas, and I will say it again. I'm not going to completely root against a player. I would like to be proven wrong and for him to outperform how I expect him to and earn his contract and be a long-term piece. But when you're going to cause bullshit like this at the age of 23, when you haven't even scratched the surface of becoming close to being an all-star, let alone a star, you don't have a say. You shouldn't have a say. And I think his representation is misleading him by far. One thing that I do want to bring up, this did come from Nets Daily. Shout out our top tier hater over here. A report came out earlier from him saying that the Nets don't have long-term plans for Cam Thomas and are unlikely to feature him much on the offensive side this upcoming season as they look to tank. The exact quote is, in quotes, with Thomas's future so uncertain, the Nets are unlikely to feature him as much as if they had signed him to a long-term contract. And of course, the Nets are once again in tank mode as they try to secure one of the top picks in the 2026 drafts. So to me, it's simple. Don't play him. Don't play him. Because, again, the thing is this report here, again, if it's true, because Nets Daily is a 50-50 guy, if it is true, that showcases 2 things. One, as I've been saying now for the past year, they do not view him as a long-term piece. And 2, they don't view him as a guy that can help these rookies who, all 5 of which were either selected higher than him in the draft, if not the same exact position as him, Danny Wolf being the 27th pick. These are all guys that have more potential in terms of how they're coming into the league based on their draft position outside of Saraf and Wolf, of course. This isn't a priority anymore. Cam Thomas is not the guy. And I've been saying this for so long, and people have been trying to debate it for so long. But again, my point is proven. They didn't view him as a long-term piece. Now reports are coming out that they're not going to utilize him as a guy they view as a long-term piece. He's done. This is not a relationship that's going to last past the next 365 days. And I'm in all honesty, I can't wait for it to be over.
Well, it would have and we had a show months ago when this news broke that they were only going to offer him $14 million, whatever. And yep. I stood alone and I said then they shouldn't have offered him anything. Just let him go. So now you're in a position where you're going to bring him back and you can't play him. If you can't play him, you're not going to get any trade value for him. So yep. I don't understand. There was never any point, and everyone said, "Oh, you could trade him. Trade him for what? There's no trade market for him. Nobody wants him. So what am I trading him for? I could have just let him go, and I could have spent the $6 million on something else. To me, there was 0 point in bringing him back. Look, this is not my opinion. This is Sean Marks' opinion. Just admit that you missed horribly on the draft pick. Cam Thomas is not worth bringing back. He's absolutely detrimental to your team, and be done with it. Right? Like bringing him back at $6 million on a qualifying offer where now you can't trade him and he's only going to retard the progress of your rookies makes 0 sense. I wanted him. I said I would have given him 4 years, $80 million. So I said I would have done. I want him here. Right? And people say that's a lot of money. It's not. It's half of what a good player makes. Half of what Michael Porter Jr. makes. It's not a lot of money, right? Like the question is, if he's going to be the sixth man on a good team, which I envision him being, how much? What percentage of the salary cap do you think that's worth? Right? And I would have front loaded it. I would have gave him like 23, 21, 18, 17, like that. Right? Do the math. However, I would have front loaded it like that over the next 2 years. So whatever the cap is 3-4 years from now, when you're trying to compete, he's making a tiny percentage of that. I would have done that.
And I still don't think it's worth it.
Okay, then like we just disagree on that, right?
Yeah.
But if you 3 years from now, 4 years from now, if you're paying him $17-18 million a year, who cares? Like,
and that's the thing, though, right? And that's where you and I kind of view it differently. When you're in the midst of a rebuild, you're not paying somebody based on what their potential is. You can't afford to do that, because if they don't reach that potential, then you just wasted 1/6, 1/7 of your cap space, and those things are important when it comes time to start competing. So to me, I do agree on not paying him. The fact, though, that his agent turned down double the amount of money for the same potential 1-year deal is pathetic. And that's where I think the biggest issue is the poor representation. We've seen this with players in the past, Kyrie Irving being, the most recent net to have poor representation, which is his stepbrother now. This isn't new. Guys are misrepresented all the time. But when you're in the position to where you value a no trade clause more than you do double the amount of money, that to me is a slap in the face. So I have no respect for his end whatsoever as of right now.
I'm gonna take the opposite side. He wants out of here super bad. So look, if I said to you, I'm gonna pay you X amount of dollars to go somewhere you hate, but you have to lock in for 2 years. Like, I don't want to be here. Just get me out of here. What's my quickest path out of here? Okay, I don't agree. I think it's take the 1-year deal, right? Take the 1-year deal and they can trade you. I think that's A, you get paid more, and B, they can trade you. Now, A, they can't trade you, and B, you're taking a $5 million pay cut, $4 million, whatever the reports were, 9 to 11, whatever the actual number was.
It's stupid because the Nets it's stupid because the Nets logistically could tank his value by not playing him. They could. And honestly,
how much more can they actually tank it? Right now, there are 0 offers for him. Okay, then why did you bring him back? If you're like, how much?
Well, the 0 offers is based on the no cap space. That's the thing, though, right? The 0 offers is based on his lack of market because of how little teams had cap space, right? That's not to say that, say a team did have the MLE left over and they wanted to give it to him. Maybe a team could have, but they didn't have it, right? So from a player standpoint, if you're betting on yourself, sure, it makes sense because there's 10 teams now that'll have cap space next offseason. But again, you're putting it in the position of not only yourself, but the organization to actually allow you to up your value. If I'm the Nets, I don't play him. You don't want to sign here long term. You don't want to buy into the culture. You don't want to buy into what we're trying to do around here. You're not going to play. And you're going to make the same amount of money next year when you sign with another team because we're not going to offer you a contract. Congrats. You lost out on double the amount of money you could have made in 1 year. That's how I would look at it.
And he hates it here so much he's willing to lose millions of dollars is how I read it. Because the $14 million offer, you knew whether or not you think it's legitimate, he wasn't going to sign it, right?
Yeah.
$40 million counter offer, I don't care whether or not you think that's legitimate. The Nets weren't gonna meet that, right? So there were 2 offers with nothing in between, no negotiation, each one equally unsignable. So to me, that tells me I don't want you and you don't want me, right? It's like your girl comes back to you and you're a police officer and she says, don't come back to me until you make $1 billion a year. And your girlfriend's flat chested. You said, don't come back to me until you're a full D. It's like, okay, well, this ain't going to happen. This ain't going to work, right? Like, we're both making ridiculous demands here. So we're done, right? Like, okay, the relationship is over. That was obvious from the offer that the Nets made, and they never even moved on it. It's not like they went to $18 million a year or they made the second year.
And as they should. The Nets shouldn't have had to move their offer. There's no market for you. You don't dictate your value when A, you have not proven yourself to be the guy, and B, there's no other team that can pursue you with the level of money that we're able to offer you. Sucks to suck. There's nothing that he could have done. And the fact that his representation's allowing this is where, again, I'm going to say, This is poor management. Not only is it showing that he doesn't want to be here, but it's also showing that he's being so poorly represented to where they're willing to risk millions of dollars to bet on yourself. That's stupidity. Only guys who are known to be great can do that. And Cam Thomas is not a great player.
No, he's not a great player, but we fundamentally disagree on his value. Like just like we disagree on Jordan Clarkson. To me, the best bet that Cam Thomas had was to get traded to a playoff team and prove that he can come off the bench and score a bunch of points in the playoffs. He can score 20 points a game in 25 minutes in the playoffs. If he can do that, someone will offer money, because scoring in the playoffs, scoring in the regular season is easy. Scoring in the playoffs is extraordinarily difficult. It is a very difficult. The court shrinks. It gets more physical. Look at D'Lo. D'Lo can score 20 a game at ease in the regular season. In the playoffs, is horrible. Why? Because he's so up to Sharman, and the game gets more physical. If Cam Thomas proves that he can score 20 points a game off the bench in 25 minutes, he will get his $20+ million a year. I guarantee it. Someone will give it to him. So he has to go to a playoff team to prove that he can score in the playoffs. He's not going to do that with the Nets. And now he can't be traded to a playoff team. So I don't understand any of it. It's a bad move for him.
I wouldn't say that he can't be traded to it. It's just you have to piss him off so much to a point where you force his hand into accepting
You've done
deal.
that. If he wanted to be traded, if he wanted to work with you, he would have taken the 1-year deal for more money, and he could have been traded. You know what I'm saying? He could have took the 1-year deal for $10 million and been traded. You could trade me anywhere. Now,
no, I agree. I mean, listen, the one place that I'm looking at right now for him is Houston. Houston has Tari Eason on a $5.6 million deal. They'd be able to match the contracts in that sense. Kevin Durant loves Cam Thomas. I think Cam Thomas is a very good fit next to a core of Amen Thompson and Alperen Sengun. I think those two really cancel out some of his issues, whether it be playmaking, defense, whatever it may be, rebounding. You know, I would look at Houston if it is ever going to happen. I think simplistically, I would just take Tari Eason in our 2027 first-round pick back for him, and I'd move on. You control every asset now moving forward for your future. You have the ability to choose when you want to get out of the rebuilding stage and into the contention stage. I think that that's the best bet for both sides, and I think that if
he had that second year on it, this trade's a lot more possible. Now you're asking Houston to give up their first rounder, you said, for a rental.
Our 2027 first round pick back. So pretty much undo the swap.
Undo this. If he had 2 years on the deal, I think Houston makes the trade. With just 1 year on the deal, he's just a rental. If we don't win this year, I'll just sign him to a 1-year deal next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he had 2 years on the deal, and this is what I'm saying. I understand Cam Thomas is pissed. What he did here made no sense. It didn't make sense business-wise, and didn't make sense if you want to get traded. If you want out, it made no sense. And if you wanted to make the most amount of money, it really made no sense. So he already gave up $22 million, right? So it was supposed to be 28 for 2. He got 6. So that's a $22 million. Is he going to go somewhere next year and know for certain that he's going to get $22 million per? If he does that, he only broke even. He only broke even if he did that. Why did you take the guarantee?
Yep, I agree.
And you're still on a tradable
misrepresentation. You can tell that this wasn't him negotiating that deal. It's representation.
I always said there was a chance Cam Thomas would play in the Nets this year. There's a 0% chance he'll play on the team next year. I've always said that, right? 0. You knew you were going to get traded. Like, this was your last year in Brooklyn. We all knew that. I think everyone outside of those blinded, and I'm a Cam Thomas. I'm wearing a Cam Thomas jersey. I'm a Cam Thomas fan. Outside of the absolutely blinded Cam Thomas fans, everyone knew this was it for him. I said when they got Michael Porter, I said Michael Porter Jr. will be here long after Cam Thomas is gone, right? Like, he was never a fit here. They never liked him. They never valued him. I don't understand why the Nets did this and why the Nets knew there was no trade value for him. There's no trade market for him. Why did they even offer him the qualifying offer? What's the point? Why did they tender him at all?
I don't know. I've been saying burn this relationship
now you're stuck with
2 years. I've been saying just get it over with. You can tell certain players are going to cause issues, become divas or whatever very, very early on. His attitude has always been piss poor. The way that he carries himself has always been piss poor. The way that he has played a selfish brand of basketball has always been piss poor. This isn't a guy that I see fitting here long term, and I've been saying that for years. So this doesn't surprise me. And like I said before, I cannot wait for this relationship to end at some point because he's not a winning player regardless.
But it could have been over. He's just don't offer him the qualifying offer. Just don't offer. You're not getting anything for him, right? Like, we're going to take a salary, a bad salary, and get a second-round pick. I'd rather just have spent the money on someone else. I'd rather just have thrown the bag at Kuminga. Like, honestly, I'd rather give Quentin Grimes money for the Quentin Grimes. What is Philly offering? I'll double up to the next year. Like, I don't care, right? Like, it just made no sense to give it to a guy who gets you further away from what you're looking to do, right? Playing Cam Thomas can only hurt you. And I'm being serious. At this point, the relationship is so bad. Why even play him? Seriously, why even put him on the court?
That's why I hope they don't.
But then you really can't trade him, right? There's no point. And this is what I'm trying to say. There's no point. There's nothing he does that gets you closer to your goal, which is Darren Peterson or DeBanso, whatever guy in that draft class you like. There's nothing that he can do that helps you get closer to that point. So why are we bringing him back?
Well, I don't think he impacts the game of winning like that. Again, that's kind of an area where we disagree on.
He doesn't impact the game of winning the way that Jalen Brunson or Luka Doncic does. Granted, I give you that.
Yeah, but he still doesn't. I mean, listen, his career average or his career win-loss ratio is still 29-51 as a starter. It's still on par with what we were last year. It's not a guy that's going to win you many games. You cut his minutes in the fourth quarter, you're not winning many games either. To me, tank the value. If a player is trying to screw me and what I'm trying to build here, I'm screwing the player.
Well, but it doesn't. When you screw the player, you're cutting nose to spite face. You really are. You're in a worse position now for giving him this contract. I just want someone to shit Sean Marks down and explain to me how it made any sense at all to tender him. Just explain to me your thought pattern here, and I can decide whether or not you're retarded. Like, explain to me what you. Explain to me what you. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm talking to a fighter, I don't understand what they're doing. Let's look at the tape and explain to me. You show me what you saw because I'm not seeing what you saw. So explain it to me. That's what I have to do with Sean Marks. Like, explain to me what you thought was a good idea here. Explain to me your thought pattern because I'm not understanding it. And I said this from day one. You're not trading him. Nobody wants him. No one's taking on a salary. You got to build a whole offense around him. No team looking to compete will do that. Right, and no bad team would. He's not Jalen Brunson. He's not Luka. You don't put him on a bad team, and now that bad team's in the playoffs. It doesn't work that way, right? If you put him on Utah, Utah's not in the playoffs now, right? They just got rid of Jordan Clarkson, who's in essence a slightly less good version of Cam Thomas, right? Yeah. Like, so there was nothing that he was going to do this year to help you get closer to your goal. He was only going to further you from it. And now we have a mess here where we can't trade him. We're going to get no value for him. If you play him, he's going to help you win games. But to be fair, he hasn't been a nuisance. When you've asked him to play, he's gone out and played and he's given it max effort. When he got out and played, he scored 25 points a game, whatever. It was 24 points a game last year. It's not a Ben Simmons thing where he's taking injuries. It's nothing like that. It's not like James Harden. He goes on the court and he gives no effort. Right? It's not Stephon Marbury. He's getting a bunch of trouble out of court with hookers or whatever, strippers, whatever it was. It's none of that. It's just he doesn't want to be here. So I don't like if you sit him and you say we're not playing him a single minute this year. Okay, but for what reason?
To tank his value.
Why did you bring him back then? Why do we do this? Like, listen, what was the point of this?
At this point, it's kind of like the situation between Joe Tsai and Kyrie Irving, right? We weren't going to ever trade him willingly, but the moment that he demanded a trade, they did not think twice. It's the same thing. If you can piss Cam Thomas off enough to where he accepts a trade and waives the no trade clause, figure out a way to do it.
What do you get? I don't know. If you would have gotten him a 2-year deal, if you would have took that $14 million a year deal, well, I think Houston makes that trade. I do. Because it's not a lot of money. It's not for a good player. He could end up in Houston back with his KD, and he could compete for a championship. Now he's stuck here, probably sitting the bench for the Brooklyn Nets.
Sucks to suck. You should have made a better decision.
Right, but I'm saying, like, he did this because he hates the Nets. Granted, understood. I don't even fault you for that. I understand why you hate them. You're spiting your face. You're cutting your nose to spite your face here, pal. Like, this is not in your best interest economically. It's not in the best interest for your career. It's not even. At no point you can't even make an argument that this was a good move for Cam Thomas, and you can't even argue it's a good move for the Brooklyn Nets. It doesn't work for anybody.
No. Yeah, no, it was a piss poor move on both ends.
So
let's get into Day'Ron Sharpe, honestly, because we got Sharpe back. I'm happy about Sharpe. We'll get back into Thomas, but I mean, listen, you got him back on a $6.5 million deal, and also it is hilarious enough to know that he's going to get paid more than Cam Thomas this year. But yeah, bringing him back, it's a team option deal, so I'm probably not expecting him to stay for too long, unfortunately. But what are your thoughts on it? Do you think this means anything for, Nick Claxton's future? Is this kind of a battle between those two to see which one earns that full-time spot towards the midway point of the season? What are we thinking there?
To me, Day'Ron Sharpe's a better player. I think they want to start Day'Ron Sharpe, but that they got to get rid of. I keep saying Cam Thomas, not Cam Thomas. They got to get rid of Nick Claxton, right? They got to get rid of him. I think you could move him to Boston. Really think you could do that. I think like that's just sitting there. I got friends from Boston who said, yeah, like that's a real rumor. I don't know if there's more to it than that, but if you can move them, just move them. And Boston makes a lot of sense. You get back Simons. I don't know what you want to do with Simons. You buy Simons out. I guess you could, right?
You could, but I still think they can get some form of value back, even if it's like two players making 10 to 12 million. Like they could get something out of it. I mean, the one thing that I was looking at earlier was Simons to Milwaukee, which supposedly Milwaukee has interest in him. Simons to Milwaukee, Claxton, Kuzma to Brooklyn, and then then Claxton to Boston, and then the Nets would get like a pick in return. But I mean, yeah, there's different avenues to get those things done. So I expect Simons to be dealt at some point. But yeah, I mean, to me, I still think the best fit for Claxton and for the Nets is Charlotte. I'll keep standing on that. I think Charlotte's the biggest team as of right now in need of a center, in that age range and skill set range. So I definitely still fully expect Charlotte to be in the loop on Nick Claxton, whether it be now or during the trade deadline.
I want to address this. Cam Thomas would rather keep his pride and walk next season than take this insulting offer.
Yeah, congrats. You suck. Oh, well, we won't miss you.
Henry Clay was a founding father. They called him the great negotiator. And he said a good deal, a good compromise is when neither party gets what they want. We certainly have that. Maybe by his theory, he's the great compromiser. The Nets didn't get what they want, and he didn't get what he wants. So I suppose that's a good compromise. A good compromise when neither party gets what they want.
Yep.
I think this is a perfect example of that. Okay, like he keeps his pride. Okay, fine.
Yeah, congratulations. You're still a loser.
Congrats. Oh, well. You're still going to sit on the bench for the Nets now instead of going out somewhere and earning the $20 million, showing that you deserve the $20 million plus that you want next year. Like it made no sense, D-Rock. It doesn't make any sense for him or the Nets, which just went down. I knew this was eventually going to happen. I'm saying if he doesn't fold, the Nets are either going to have to go up and offer him 1 year for more money, or he's going to take his qualifying offer because he hates the Nets, and he took the qualifying offer because he hates the Brooklyn Nets. It doesn't make any sense for him. Dylan broke it down. Jeff Teague broke it down in his podcast. It really doesn't make any sense for him to pass up on the $14 million per year guarantee. I know it sucks. I know it's not what he pictured.
It's a team option. The best case scenario for him is they opt out of him. He made almost double and a half the money, and he still gets to hit unrestricted free agency. Or they accept the team option. You don't want to come back. You demand a trade. Either way, you're making $14 million for 2 seasons. Stupidity. It's not debatable. This isn't like he's going to prove himself. He's going to get so much more money. Congratulations. You lost double the amount of money you could have made for 1 year. You're an idiot. Horrible financial decision. And I'm happy that it happened, because if you want to be stupid, you win stupid prizes. That's how it works.
So I did. What do we expect from? I know this is going to be like the next $1 million question. What do we expect from Cam Thomas in a Brooklyn Net uniform, 25-26?
Minimal minutes.
Playing himself
and I hope that's the case.
On the bench, growing mold.
and I hope that's the case.
I don't wish any ill will. I don't have any problem with anything how he handled this at all. I really don't. It didn't work out. I don't have any problem with how he handled it. I think what he did was ultimately stupid. I think it was short-sighted and dumb. And he's gonna look back at it like, boy, that was dumb. I let my emotions get the best of me. We've all done that before. We've all made decisions like that, right? But I don't. He felt disrespected. He gave effort for the Nets. He is. I heard the stat the other day. For a guy who scores that many points per 36 minutes, he's by far the lowest paid player in the league. Who's not on a rookie deal, by far. It's not even close. So he feels disrespected, and he doesn't want to stay here because who wants to be somewhere where they don't respect you, where they don't value you? No one wants to be there. I understand it.
Rightfully so. Request a trade. Stop wasting everyone's time.
But in order for them to trade you, you kind of have to sign the 2-year deal. But he doesn't want to sign the 2-year. It's a mess, and I saw this coming. And now, like I said, now we're going to have him, and we're going to sit him on the bench for no reason because I don't want to win games. So why the hell did you offer him a contract? And this is what I was saying. Why the hell did you bring him back? To sit him on the bench? You might as well have given the $6 million to charity. It would have been better off. Now you're paying him $6 million to not play. Now it's not a ton of money, but why burn the $6 million?
It's stupidity, and I mean,
I would have gave the $6 million to Kuminga. I would have stayed under the cap. I would have offered Kuminga 2 for $50, and I would have Jonathan Kuminga right here.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Nets still have to cover what 20 to 22 million in cap space before the season begins. There's still moves to be made. Hopefully, they can show him that he's not an asset, and they can move on from him, take on a contract and a pick, and move on.
Now we're going to have to just literally give money away. We're going to have to divide it amongst the rest of our players because we haven't hit the floor. We're not even close to the floor, which is extraordinary. And if I was the NBA and I saw a team refusing to even get close to the floor, I'd have some issues with that, and I would not award them the first pick. You guys aren't going to like that. I'd have them pick the worst that they possibly could. You're literally trying to ruin my league. The NBA is not going to look. If you guys think this gets them closer to Darren Peterson, I also disagree with that because the NBA is going to look at what you're doing. You're not even close to the floor. They're going to say, no, we're not giving you the first pick. You're damaging our product. You don't get the first pick. You don't get Darren Peterson. You don't get AJ DeBan. So that's my thoughts on it.
Be the worst team in the league, and the worst you get is 5.
I don't want 5. I want 1 or 2. I don't want 5. I mean, look, if they have the worst record in the league, which is very possible, they're going to be 1 or 2. They're going to be really bad.
Yeah.
5. I don't want 5. Right? I'm going to get another guy. They're going to draft Igor Demon 2.0 at 5, and I'm going to have another dude on my team. And I sat through all of this.
You could get Nate Men at 5.
Okay.
A lot of people are projecting him right now at 6.
I had him at 4. That's the guy I really like.
Yeah, Mikal Brown and Jaden Quintons are the 2 that are kind of topping him out right now. So, I mean, there's a chance that he slips to 5. But again, like that's what I'm saying. Floor of the pick matters.
The Nets could have reached the floor by giving Cam the rest of the money for. I'm with you. I don't know why they didn't do it. Again, if I was Sean Marks, I would have said, "Here you go, Cam. 4 years, $80 million. I'm not going to budge a dime. I'm going to put that on the table. It's 4 years, $80 million, life-changing money, or $6 million. You get to pick, and that's a fair offer. I know Dylan would have done that because Dylan doesn't want him here. But if you want him here, I think my offer is fair. If you value him to the degree that I do, which is a 6th man who can score a bunch of points on a good team, I think that's a fair offer. It's what it is. All right, you want to get to Daron Sharpe. I know we strayed back to Sean to Cam Thomas. You want to get back?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of covered him. They upped his offer a little bit to $6.5 million per year. So I mean, I'm happy to have him back. It's going to depend on the roster construction. They're currently right now, I believe there's 18 players active on the roster outside of Zaire, who is still considerably unofficially signed. So it's going to come down to how they're going to cut the roster. I mean, again, the most simplistic answer is cut, Tyrese Martin, cut Jalen Wilson, and then cut Keon Johnson. But we'll see. I mean, they've got to cut the roster down to 15. So there's going to be some moves that need to be made, and that's why, again, I fully expect there to be a move or two prior to the season beginning. So one could hope, but I mean, this is what rebuilding looks like. It's not supposed to be pretty. People really can't grasp the concept of rebuilding, which still blows my mind. You're not meant to be good. You're not meant to be making moves to improve. You are supposed to suck. You're supposed to be developing young players. Young players don't win games. So
that's why I would think if you were going to treat Cam Thomas like this is why I said you might as well just let him go. Now you're in a real pickle. You can't move him. You're going to lose him for nothing. And if you play him, he's going to help you win games, which you don't want to do. And he's going to take minutes away from the guys you do want to play. There's a no-win situation for the Nets. It's a no-win situation for the Nets having him on the roster.
No, I agree.
Mark, if you want to come in here and defend Sean Marks, let me know. I'll drop the link for you. We love having you on because it's a difference of opinion. If you can justify this from Sean Marks' perspective, what if you can justify it from Cam Thomas's perspective? I can justify it from Cam Thomas's perspective. I hate them. F them. That's what Cam Thomas's thought pattern was. Okay, you hurt yourself, pal. Right? I mean, do you disagree with that? The reason why Cam Thomas is signing the qualifying offer is because he wants to stick it to the Brooklyn Nets. Is there any other possible argument for him signing that qualifying offer?
No.
That's it. He hates the Brooklyn Nets. That's why he signed it. I agree. I don't think he's going to play much, which is just going to dilute his value even more. They were talking. I was listening to Locked On Nets, and they were saying, well, he can come and he can score as many points as he plays minutes. Okay, so this is not going to play many minutes. I don't understand how they didn't see how they don't see that coming. They're obviously not going to play him for obvious reasons, right? They're going to play Troy at the 2. They're going to play, they're going to play Drake Powell. They're going to play Dariq Whitehead. They're going to give all these guys minutes, and rightfully so. That's why I don't understand bringing him back. I truly don't understand bringing him back. Now we're stuck, right? And so is he. It's bad for us, but it's worse for him long term. If he really wants to play for a vet minimum next year, stay here and sit on the bench and get no money. You get no play. You get no play this year, you'll get no money next year. It makes no sense. You're right. It's terrible representation. Like the agent, I understand Cam's pissed off. I get it. I'd be pissed off if I were him too. The agent's got to be the voice of reason here. Like, bro, take the $14 million, sign it, demand a trade right away. We'll get you out of here. Someone else would
blows
trade.
my mind. It's really not hard to do. Like there was much easier routes to do if he wanted out. It's stupidity. I mean, seriously, he was offered $9.5 million for 1 year where he could be traded. You could have 1.5 times your money to still be traded, but you chose $3.5 million less, so you can't be traded. You're an idiot.
It was all done out of spite. It was all done out of spite. And when they first offered him the $14 million deal, and you said, he said sign it. I was like, that's ridiculous. And then you explained it, and Jeff T said $14 million a year is pretty good living. Yeah, it is. yeah, it is. Pretty good money. Yep. You know what?
Welcome
I don't like 1%. It. I don't like your face. I'm going to sign it. And I'll enter my next free agency at 25, entering my physical prime. I'll get the bag then. But for now, I'm going to play on this contract. And I get it, guys. You think the contract – I look at the guys who get way more money. Jalen Green, Anthony Simons. We all know how I feel about Mikal Bridges. These guys will get several times what Cam Thomas is making. I don't get it, but it is what it is. The Nets don't want him here, and no one else has any cap space, so this is where we're stuck at. Yes, I want to. He can be traded, but he has to approve of the trade. So in essence, what he's on is a no trade clause. In essence, he can be traded. Yes, he can be. He has to approve of the trade. But his entire goal is to stick it to the Nets. He hates the Nets. Why is he allowing the Nets to trade him?
Yep. Yeah, people. I had a debate about this earlier on Twitter, like somebody trying to tell me he can be traded. No shit, he can be traded. It's called a no trade clause. All you have to do is waive it to be traded. The point of a no trade clause is 9 times out of 10 you're trying to screw the team trying to move you for assets in return, so this way they get nothing for you. Use the brain. It's not difficult. As a casual fan, you could figure this shit out. No trade clause 9 times out of 10 means you are not going to accept.
The problem is 90% of the general public, not you guys listening, I'm not including you guys, just 90% of the general public is borderline retarded. I'm just saying, like that's the problem. Is you ask them to think, and they don't, like they look at you like you've asked them to speak Chinese. Like I don't know how to
quantum
do that.
physics. Like
it's not
like it's not difficult. He has a no trade clause. What does that mean? He's likely not going to accept a trade. That's how that works. You know, this is like the same people that were like, "Oh, win a couple of games, it's all right. It's a lottery." Okay, well, you were the 6th worst team and you got the 8th worst team. Can you get the number 1 pick at 6? Sure. Did it happen? No. Same shit with this. It's a no trade clause. He's likely not going to be traded because he'll refuse a trade.
All right, Dylan. Zaire, Day'Ron Sharpe is signed. Zaire Williams still officially is not. Kind of give us a scoop on that. What got the Day'Ron deal official, and why is the Zaire deal, which is almost the same deal, why is that deal not official?
Probably just working out the minor details on how to increase the salary to get closer to the minimum floor necessary for the season. I would expect that to go up to like 7.5 to 9 million per year, somewhere in that range. But I think that they're going to try and align a trade first to figure out what the bad contract is in return that they can get back before trying to up the money on him to kind of figure out where that minimum is. So we'll see. I mean, there's a couple of players that definitely could be traded here before the season begins. It's just going to depend on, whether or not Brooklyn can capitalize and if they can get some form of solid assets back in return as well.
All right. Is Cam Thomas going to play more than 25 games? He's going to play more or less games than he did last year. But for the Brooklyn Nets.
Hope not. Hope not. I'm not here to watch Cam Thomas. I'm here to watch Yegor Demon, Nolan Schreier, Drake Powell, Noah Clowney, Michael Porter Jr. I'm not here to watch him anymore.
It's sad that it had to end this way, Mark, I put the link for you, Mark. Jump in. He loses his bird rights when this move. Oh, let me try this again. He loses his bird rights with this move, so trade him anywhere, and they can't re-sign him if they're over the cap. That's what kills his value trade-wise. Trade him anywhere. I'm not.
Yeah. So bird rights is usually when the team that you're on has the right to sign you, even if it puts you over the salary cap limit.
No, I got you.
It's true. He can get traded. He can accept a trade, but if a team doesn't have the cap space necessary the following offseason, then they can't bring him back because it's a penalty. So there's teams around the league that have the cap space for him that can do it. It's just going to depend on, which teams are interested in him, if any are interested in him. So again, stupid situation for him. His agent's an idiot, and he's an idiot for listening to him. It's pure stupidity. He's screwed himself in numerous different ways, more than the Nets have screwed themselves. So it's stupid on his end.
No, I agree that Cam Thomas is more screwed than the Nets because at the end of the day, if you just don't play him, it's only $6 million. Right? It doesn't hurt the Nets that bad. It hurts Cam Thomas a lot. Cam Thomas screwed himself more than the Nets screwed themselves. But Mark, we love having you on. I want to hear you defend Sean Marks on this one. Why did Sean Marks offer him the qualifying offer at all?
I'm at a loss for words on it, to be honest with you. It doesn't really make too much sense. Like you said, if you didn't like him, try to work out a sign and trade. Maybe that was what his hope for. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the logic behind the qualifying offer. It makes no sense. What's he gonna do? He's gonna up his he at it best case scenario for Cam Thomas, right? He plays great all around, impacts the game, ups his value. That would only hinder the record in a best case scenario for him. So it only hurts what your objective is, which is to lose and develop around the young guys. On the
Are you
other
being
side,
pulled over? It sounds like a police radio in the back. You being
oh
pulled over?
no, not getting
All
pulled
right.
over. What was I saying? The As far as for the Nets, it the move makes no sense either for like because
It makes
you're not gonna play. What are you gonna do? Like suppose he does this, like, he pouts and he just wants out, and it gets messy. Like it's an unnecessary distraction. So it's like it just makes no sense for either side.
it,
Like
and
they should have just broke it off. Unless I don't see no benefit for him to play on the qualifying offer, unless he's just trying to prove it to the Nets front office, and they're still having some good faith negotiations. Otherwise, it makes no sense.
it
Why
makes no sense. It
makes no
makes no
sense?
sense at
Why
all.
why bring him back if you don't intend on re-signing him? You don't feel like he's a long-term piece. Maybe he doesn't want to be here. Like there's so many different factors, but at the end of the day, the only way it makes sense is if he's on board with trying to prove his worth and just you
He's not
know
going to get a chance to prove his worth. They're not going to play him. They're not
if
going to
he
give him another
does play,
chance.
like that's the only way it would possibly make sense. For him, he wants to play. For them, he's their best option at the two. So
They're not looking for their best option. They're looking to play Traore. They're not looking for their best option. They want to play Traore. They want to play Whitehead. I still White. This is his third year on the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know what position Whitehead plays. Is he a 2 or a 3, Dylan?
I think he's a
Both.
2.
Both. He's
So
6'7".
I said 3. He
He's
said
6'7".
2. You say
So
both.
I would see him as the 3. He's 6'7".
So I
But
said
he
a
can
3
play
too.
both. Drake Powell's 6'6". I view him more as a undersized 3, but mainly a 2. So again, they're interchangeable. It just depends on the defensive matchup.
Yeah, can they play together?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I'm more interested in seeing what I have in Derek White. Derek Whitehead played very few minutes last year. Shot the ball. He shot the 3 ball well last year. He did. So, like, can he be a 3-and-D guy? How does he look next to Drake Powell? Can they play together? They have this that the half second, whatever they call it, where they want to get the shot out the ball in a half a second.
But what the point of keeping Cam Thomas? Like you said, like you're saying, Powell, Whitehead, it blocks a clear avenue for them to get run at the 2 on our team this year. So it's like unless, like I said, unless they really locked in and they still have faith in trying to make it work on both sides, then all right, then it'll make sense. But otherwise, it makes no sense for Cam, for us, for the other guys on the roster. It makes no sense. And what are we gonna do? Marbury him and just sit him on the bench? Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but Marbury had gotten a lot of trouble outside the.
Yeah, no. I get that. I get that. Yeah,
There was a reason.
There was a lot more to Marbury's situation rather than what the Cam Thomas, of course. But my point is, like, what are you just gonna just let him rot on the bench? Like, how do you think the press conferences are gonna go when they put a mic in front of him?
Cam, like I said, so I'm gonna ask you. So the Nets are gonna take their best piece of inventory and let it rot on the bench, and then the NBA. Can I please have the number 1 pick in the draft? What do you think the NBA is gonna say?
Do you really think it's rigged, though? Do you really think it's rigged?
What, the lottery?
Like to say it's rigged.
Yeah.
I would say it's
The lottery's rigged. I'll flat out say it. The lottery's fucking
rigged's
rigged.
a weird word. Like rigged's it's like poisoning the well. It's predetermined. The NBA knows where each team is going to pick. If that's what you mean by rigged, then yes, I think the NBA determines where they want people to draft.
I mean,
do you really question that?
so then why have the lottery at all? Like, what is the like?
Because
somebody would have exposed that already. Like,
so the reason they have the lottery. How much more do you want it to be exposed, right? Like it's done in a back room, right? It's like, the reason why they have the lottery is to put the guys where they want to. if they didn't have the lottery, the Brooklyn Nets would get the number 1 pick in the draft, and Utah would get number 2, or vice versa, however they finish this year. The NBA doesn't want that. So the only way they can avoid that is to have a lottery, and then they can put the players where they want to. How much more exposed do you want it to be? Right? Like, there's no such thing as a coincidence. Things don't happen.
But think about it. Think about it, though. Zion Williamson was probably one of the most hyped prospects coming out of the college in the last 25 years. Top 5 prospect coming out of college, give or take. They sent him to New Orleans. If you're saying it's rigged, that's not where you want the crown jewel blue chip prospect going to play in that market.
They had just traded Anthony Davis.
Same thing that happened with Cooper Flagg.
Yep, you trade your superstar, you get rewarded.
We got you. That's what they're saying. You trade Anthony Davis, we'll get you Zion Williamson. Okay,
look at it this way: the Nets traded Kevin Durant, and the Houston Rockets got the 3rd overall pick thanks to the Nets pick. It's a reward system. You give up a superstar, you get a top tier pick. You're a good team that dealt with injuries.
We gave up 3 then, so we're entitled to 3 top picks.
Thank you. From your lips to Silver Seals, right?
You know what I mean? So
never lied.
The point is, though, is that look at it this way: the year that the Nets traded Kevin Durant, the Rockets got the top 3 pick, and it wasn't even projected to be in the top 3. Right? So if the Nets had owned that, you could have been rewarded for trading Kevin Durant, but you weren't.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. It's
Davis in the year after they got Zion Williamson. The Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Doncic.
It's just dumb. It's dumb luck. It's dumb luck. That's what I'm saying.
That's rigged. That's
come on. Nothing in life is a coincidence. Nothing. Like I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in bad luck. Right? No, it's not. You think it's just a coincidence that Dallas picked 1 and San Antonio picked 2? You think the NBA had nothing to do with that, and they just picked?
Don't forget Philly in the top 4.
And Philly, you just think this just randomly happens?
I mean, Philly wasn't even supposed to be there, so they blatantly tanked to keep their pick because of the protections. I can't see it being rigged. Like, it just.
Well, let me push back. Why wouldn't the NBA rig it, as you say? Why wouldn't they?
No. If they were, why would the teams be complicit in it? Because you get the shit end of the stick.
There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, like this, like you're
subordinate. Expose it. Then expose it.
How much more do you want it to be exposed? Like, to me, it's the most obvious thing in the world. Like, I mean, this is like when they told you the vaccines are safe and effective. It's like, about that, right? Like, it's like you got Kennedy coming out now talking about how, like, we already knew. We all have a deranged family member, right? Like we already knew. So, like, I don't know how much more evidence do you need to say that this is rigged. I don't like the word rigged, because rigged to me sounds like you're doing something illegal. They're allowed to do it. They can have people draft wherever they want to. So why wouldn't they? Like, why, if you're running the NBA, why wouldn't you want San Antonio to be good? Get Wemby and Dylan Harper in the playoffs. Why would you want Dylan Harper to go waste away in Washington? Why would you want that?
I get it, but I mean, at the same time, John Wall went to the Wizards. You know,
they got their shot. It's a big market. We're gonna give you John Wall. You flop that. You're not getting another go at this. They want in the NBA. They love if Washington was good at basketball. They tried to give him. They tried to give him John Wall, and it didn't work. And then they've been horrible since. I'm not letting you. We're not doing this again. We're not wasting away another John Wall. You're not capable. And that's what I'm saying about the Nets. If they give them Peterson or DeBansa, the NBA is going to be concerned that guy's going to go rot there. Dylan?
I don't know.
I can't so then why have the lottery at all? Like, why put up a facade? Why deal with smoke and mirrors?
So that you can put the players where you want them to go. So you can put them where you want them to go and act like it's a big surprise. You know, it's like when you search your parents' room for your Christmas presents and then you find them, and then on Christmas morning you still act like you're surprised. Like, They did it. Dylan, you playing video games?
No, sir. No, I'm watching a recap of something. I have it on in the background. Yeah, no, that's where the eyes are going.
All right.
Yeah, I just can't see that it be rigged, like where all the teams are just in, like allowing it. Just that's a hard sell for me. I don't know. That's just me though.
I don't like. What do you like? The NBA is allowed to do it. It's entertainment. They're allowed to do it just as much as the WWE is allowed to, rig what guy comes into the ring at what time during the Royal Rumble. They're allowed to do it. There's nothing that says they can't do it. It's their lottery. It's their system.
Maybe, but I mean, I don't know. I can't see it. I can't. So why send all these people to watch the drawing? Like it just doesn't make that. They would have to be NDAs. Like, come on, like somebody would have exposed it already. At like
who's watching it? Dylan, do you have any information? Who watches?
Each team sends a representative to the actual.
No, it's already done in the back. The results.
No, I know, but each team sends somebody to look at in the lottery drawing room, like the actual pinball machine, to witness the drawing itself, and they keep their self like.
Do you have any information? I don't know. I don't know the policy on that. I don't know either way. I don't know. Do you know how that works? The not the televised drawing that's done for TV. The actual. Why don't they just do it live? Like, what's wrong with that idea? Exactly. It's the same thing. Like when they review a call, why don't they just let us listen to the audio? Let us listen to the audio. Why can't we listen? Right? Like, what are we hiding here? Why do we need this guy to then come out and report what he was told? Just let us hear what he's hearing. Because they're hiding something. Clearly, they're hiding something.
So how do we get ahead? Who do we have to offer up to sacrifice so that we can benefit?
I don't think we have the guy. So, like Dylan said, the best we can do is try to have the worst record and get the 5th pick in the draft. It's the best we can do. Yeah, I think if we built a competitive team and missed the playoffs by a few games and tried to show the NBA that we were building, I think that would give us a chance. Well, yeah. What pieces did you have on this team that you thought were going to be long-term pieces?
They were a playing team until we traded a couple of guys.
Which guys?
Not like they weren't.
D'Angelo,
Dorian Finney-Smith.
So
you benched Cam Thomas a ton, or Cam Johnson. You benched Cam Thomas because of the injuries. No, is it the guys that look like they're flashy enough to be playoff caliber? No, but were they in the conversation of playing at the beginning of the season? Yes. So we've already tried this route.
You wanted the NBA to say, you know what, we're going to give you Cooper Flagg because we think that you could be super relevant right away if we team up Cooper Flagg with Dennis Schroeder and Cam Johnson.
We saw what you did with Cam Johnson, and we love that for Cooper Flagg.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't try it. I don't have a good answer.
Yeah.
What is the NBA gonna like? I don't know. I don't know.
Neither do I. Listen, all we can hope is for some development, some growth. Hopefully, we get some lottery luck. I mean, or they decided we're due for. We're well overdue.
We're still the team with the longest drought without owning our own first overall pick.
We've gotten the number 1 pick twice. Derek Coleman, Kenyon Martin. Derek Coleman was what he was advertised to be. He was a hell of a generational talent with a really bad attitude and a really bad diet. Right? He was exactly, which was a modern day, a Boogie Cousins before Boogie Cousins existed. He was worth the first pick in the draft. He just, to quote Rick Majerus, he has 0 redeeming human qualities.
That's tough.
Kenyon Martin, it sucks, but he was probably, if you redrafted that, Kenyon Martin goes 1 or 2 in that draft. It wasn't a good draft. What do you want? They've gotten the first pick twice.
I just hope for some development. Hopefully, we could turn this thing around. And if we could land a top guy, that's a great foundation to go. And just Marks would find a way to justify.
But even you can't defend Sean Marks, right?
Not on the the qualifying offer thing. It makes little sense on both sides. So that's why like the only way it makes sense for either side is if they're operating in good faith, where maybe they're still but it doesn't seem to be that way. So that's why it just makes no sense to me. Like you said, for that, just let him walk. Let him walk. Develop. It's Drake Powell time. It's Dariq Whitehead time. You want the vet? We have Terrence Mann to just be the vet for those guys, and that's it. Just develop and just roll the ball out. That's it. Cam Thomas, it doesn't make sense from his end either. Like you you you're Nerlens Noel is a great example. A few years back with the qualifying offer, he played on the qualifying offer. They offered him 4 years, $70 million. He turned it down. He ended up the contract that he ended up signing a year later was 2 years, $3.7 million. That's a big call. Like you cost yourself a lot of money. And injury, and he was an injury guy too. He had some injuries, and what happened? He got hurt. Didn't really play much. That's what plummeted his value even more. Cam Thomas, it'll be the same. I don't want to say it's gonna be the same story, but it could be the same story if it's a messy divorce. What if you if and
This is
if
we were right, that ship's already sailed. Yeah,
But I'm just saying, like put yourself in the shoes of a GM for another team, the Chicago Bulls, the Washington Wizards, whatever team you want to name. You have to love Cam Thomas as a player. You have to have the fit and the need for him, and the cap space. Like I just, and then if he has a messy or his hamstring again or ankle again, whatever if he has injury again, he's playing a risky game. He's playing a risky game. And with the qualifying offer, you don't have the bird right. So if they trade him to Houston, like Dylan was saying, right? Houston can't even re-sign him for anything less than maybe the whatever mid-level that they have, the taxpayer mid-level. Like that's so he's gonna take the same. He's gonna take the same money to play in Houston than what we were offering. It just doesn't make sense. But what are you gonna do?
It's I knew this was coming down the pipe. I
Now
never
you did call
understood
that. You called that qualifying over. You've been calling. I didn't see it because it makes no sense, but you called that.
But he doesn't care. It's a move that's pure spite. Like he burnt down his house so that his old lady doesn't have a place to live. It's like, bro, you don't have a place to live now either. Like, it makes no sense, bro. Dylan, I think we've beaten this. I saw this coming. We've been discussing this for a while. It's finally done. Does Cam Thomas play for the Brooklyn Nets this year, game 1?
I hope not.
Does he play for the Brooklyn? Is he on the Brooklyn Nets in April?
I really hope not.
Mark? Both questions. Is he gone before the season starts? Is he gone in the next month?
I think he ends up starting the season because if there was gonna be a deal, they would have already had we would have heard some rumblings about that already. Like we're already in the first week of September. Like if it was gonna happen, we would have caught some wind of it already at this point. I think he's gonna be a net to start the season. To end the season, I'd put that. I don't think so. It doesn't make sense. Not for us. It doesn't make sense. I think they just trade him, take whatever they could get, trade him where he wants to go to finish out the year, whoever would have. I don't know. Just that's how I look at it. And he's damn sure not a net this time next year.
No, I said that last year. There's 0%. I said that in the off. There's a 0% chance. I said Porter will be here long after Cam Thomas is gone. People thought that was crazy. It's like Michael Porter fits what they're wanting to do. Cam Thomas is not. They don't like Cam Thomas. He obviously likes Michael Porter. I like Michael Porter Jr. I think it's a good move. I think the trade was good. Do I want to pay him $40 million? No. Does it really matter? Not really. It's money. And we aren't even close to the cap. So it's fine. But Porter is going to be here. I think long term. I think Porter's going to be here beyond 2 years. I think he signs his next contract with the Nets. As long as New York City doesn't kill him first. Okay, this guy, he's winning the offseason. Right? I'm trying to be serious. I was born in New York, right? I get it. I lived in New York for a long time. He's a sheltered kid, right? I'm not trying to mock. I homeschool my kid to shelter them from certain things. He was a sheltered kid, right? He was protected. He grew up in a very conservative home. And now he's being flung into New York City with all this media. It's not going to end well. I promise you. Like, guys, someone's got to grab him and say, just don't talk to anyone. Just go home.
Just deactivate your Instagram.
Yes, seriously. This is not the world that you need to be flung into, right? It was like when Josh Hamilton went to LA to go play for the Angels. Like, this is not where you need to be, guy. You're going to be right back on the on the crack pipe. This is not the best social fit for Michael Porter Jr. And you're seeing that, bro, shut up. When he came out in the podcast saying, I know you can't gamble on sports, but what if you just did this? And while your brother's about to go to jail for it, it's like, bro, this is what you're doing. Stop talking. Stop talking. There's a lot of people listening now. You're in New York City. There's a lot. Stop talking. Stop.
What was funny was, like, if you listen to it, what he said was, about addiction, gambling addiction, like the stuff he was saying, okay, it made sense, but it didn't apply to his brother. His brother was caught in a criminal conspiracy to not perform on the court. It was fraud. Like, it's like that wasn't a gambling addiction. That was straight criminal. Like,
scamming.
Yeah,
well,
like,
when you play in terms of if it's an addiction, like whenever somebody gets caught cheating on their wife with 27 different women, what do they say? I have a sex addiction. It's like, I don't know, you just have no self-control. You have, yeah. They always try to, a guy caught at a strip club was saying, I have a pornography addiction. It's like, no, you just have no self-control, bro. Like,
yeah. But I found that comical. But I mean, people get upset. Oh, when Kyrie was here, it was all like everybody had a problem with it. It was more we had expectations. It was high profile. It was all over social media. It was constantly on ESPN, on front page of newspapers. Like it was just, you know what I mean. If we were going nowhere when we had no expectations, then nobody really would have paid much attention to that. But that's when you are contending, it's a different type of microscope that they look at you with different lenses.
Beast.
Yeah, especially in New York media. So for right now, nobody really gives a shit what Michael Porter Jr. is saying. Like, I mean, a lot of it sounds.
Stop talking, bro. Just stop. Just stop.
But this is that new wave. Everybody wants to stream, and it's that's what everybody wants to do: podcast and streaming and all of that, and just saying things for clickbait. Like, it doesn't even look believable. Like the way he threw the guy out of the house or whatever. Like it was just one of those dumb reels you look at and you're just like, bro, this is. Come on,
Cheap production.
like take an acting class. Like, if you're gonna commit. But,
guys, I gotta end this. Dylan, when are we going live next? What's your schedule like?
I should be free Saturday night potentially. If not, maybe Monday at some point. We'll figure it out. I'll see what my schedule is looking like.
All right,
guys.
All right.
It's been a pleasure,
Mark,
as always.
Always a pleasure having you. Nothing we can really argue about. We're all kind of on the same page.
Bring some stupidity.
If Mark can't defend Marks, then I mean, I guess there's no defending him. This is a lose situation for the Nets and for Cam Thomas. Nobody wins as a result of this, guys. All right, appreciate everyone.
Later,
I still
guys.
gotta have Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges, so factor that in. September 4th, 2025, from Texas to the world. Thank y'all, and God bless.
Later.